So for round 4, we work on changing what currently looks like a star to look more like a spiky snowflake shape. So join your yarn in any of these chain 2 spaces at the top of a spike, then chain 1 and make 1 double crochet in the same place. You're then going to make a half treble, and the half treble is going to sit, if you look carefully here, you've got 3 stitches ahead of you. You've got treble, treble, and then a little double. So the first half treble is going in this space between these first 2 posts. So yarn over just into the gap, pull the yarn back through, which gives you 3 loops on your hook, and for a half treble you go yarn over through all 3. And then the next 2 is the taller treble and this little double. Can you see it there? So we're going to go in the gap between them and do another half treble. So yarn over into that gap, pull the yarn back through, yarn over through all 3. So it's starting to look spiky. Now the next stitch is going to be a long treble. So when a stitch is called a long something, it's because it goes into a row lower than the row you're working. So we're working into round 3 at the moment, but you need to work now into round 2, which is here. And you need to go between these 2 trebles here. And you put your hook in this gap. So it's the long treble, so it's yarn over, and this is the hole we're looking for. So it's below the level that you're working at. So yarn over, put your hook through that gap, pull the yarn back through and pull that loop up tall so your hook is now at the same level as the other stitches you've made. And you can see you've got that loop coming through from between those 2 treble posts there, lower down than where your other stitches are sitting. But your hook is at the same height as the stitches you've just made. So that's where it makes a long loop. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And you can see you're getting that spiky look to it. Now we're doing a long double treble, and that is going in the top of the treble from round 1. So these spokes here are the posts of the trebles we made on round 1. And you need to put your double treble into the top of this stitch. So find so what you need to do is look down your work all the way back down to round 1, pull these V's apart and find the stitch at the top of that post. And then because it's a double treble, it's yarn over twice and go into that stitch all the way down here, pull the yarn back through and again pull your hook up so that loop is as high as the other stitches we've been working on. Look at that long loop there. And then for a double treble, it's yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And you then continue in this pattern. So the next one is going into the gap between the 2 trebles from round 2 here, and it's a long treble. So it's yarn over, it's going into this gap here, pull the yarn up high so it's the same height as your other stitches, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And then ahead of you you've got 3 stitches, you've got your double crochet, and then you've got 2 trebles from the last round you worked from round 3. So you're putting a half treble in this first gap between the double and the first treble, yarn over into that gap, pull back through, yarn over through all 3, and then a half treble in the next gap. And finally, you put a double crochet in this 2 chain space. So it's starting to, firstly it makes it look spiky, and secondly it makes a straighter edge along here. You can watch back from the beginning, but you then start working again down this next side, doing exactly the same again. So finding the gap between the 2 trebles, gap between the treble and the double, looking right down to the row below, find the gap between the 2 trebles from round 2, and then into the top of the stitch from round 1.